Buddha, or Gautama Buddha, also known as Shakyamuni Buddha, was a great, extraordinary spiritual master from ancient India. Born as Prince Siddhartha Gautama in the 5th century BC, he would have naturally inherited the vast wealth of a kingdom. However, the prince left the palace life in search of spiritual knowledge. After years of contemplative seeking, the Buddha attained great enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He then shared the merits of his practice by providing a method for other sentient beings to be freed from the cycle of death and rebirth. The rich treasury of Buddha's spiritual doctrine on universal truths is studied and revered to this day for its deep wisdom and compassion. Dhammapada means words of doctrine or way of truth in Pali. It is also known as Fa Jui Jing in Chinese, or Dhammapada, 2부-법구경 in Korean, or Geng Pháp Cú in Vietnamese. Dhammapada is an anthology of verses spoken by the Buddha on various occasions in response to a certain unique situation. It is one of the most popular and widely read Buddhist scriptures, enjoyed by both Buddhists and non-Buddhists. Its original version is in the Khuddaka Nikaya, a Pali canon division of Theravada Buddhism. In total, there are 423 verses in the 26 chapters of the Dhammapada that convey the philosophical and practical foundations of the Buddhist tradition. The verses are mainly presented in pairs, like, for example, grief and suffering against joy, developing the mind instead of ignoring the mental attitude and conduct, virtuousness versus misconduct, and being truthful, not deceitful. The whole purpose is to illustrate the desirable and non-desirable outcomes due to our actions, speech, and thoughts. The objective of the text is to guide one in leading a spiritual life by firstly attaining happiness in this life or in the future lives, and subsequently achieving spiritual liberation, freedom, and absolute peace. We will continue with chapters 3 to 4 of the Dhammapada, Way of Truth. Chapter 3, The Mind. Verses 33 to 37. Quivering, wavering, hard to guard, to hold in check the mind. The sage makes it straight, the shaft of an arrow, like a fish removed from its home in the water and placed on land. This mind flips and flaps about to escape Mara's sway, hard to hold down, nimble, alighting wherever it likes. The mind, its taming is good. The mind, well tamed, brings ease. So hard to see, so very, very subtle, alighting wherever it likes. The mind, the wise should guard it. The mind, protected, brings ease. Wandering far, going alone, bodiless, lying in a cave, the mind, those who restrain it, from Mara's bonds, they will be freed. Verse 38. For a person of unsteady mind, not knowing true Dharma, serenity set adrift, discernment doesn't grow full. Verse 39. For a person of unsolvent mind, unassaulted awareness, abandoning merit and evil, wakeful, there is no danger, no fear. Verse 40. Knowing this body is like a clay jar, securing this mind like a fort, attack Mara with the spear of discernment, then guard what's won without settling there, without laying claim. Verse 41. All too soon, this body will lie on the ground, cast off bereft of consciousness, like a useless scrap of wood. Verses 42 to 43. Whatever an enemy might do to an enemy, or a foe to a foe, the ill-directed mind can do to you even worse. Whatever a mother, father, or other kinsman might do for you, the well-directed mind can do for you even better. Chapter 4. Blossoms. Verses 44 to 45. Who will penetrate this earth and this realm of death with all its gods? Who will ferret out the well-taught Dharma saying, as the skillful flower arranger, the flower? The learner on the path will penetrate this earth and this realm of death with all its gods. The learner on the path will ferret out the well-taught Dharma saying, as the skillful flower arranger, the flower. Verse 46. Knowing this body is like form, realizing its nature, a mirage, cutting out the blossoms of Mara, you go where the king of death can't see. Verses 47 to 48. The man immersed in gathering blossoms, his heart distracted, death sweeps him away, as a great flood, a village asleep. The man immersed in gathering blossoms, his heart distracted, insatiable in sensual pleasures, the end maker holds him under his sway. Verse 49. As a bee, without harming the blossom, its color, its fragrance, takes its nectar and flies away, so should the sage go through a village. Verse 50. Focus not on the rudenesses of others, not on what they've done or left undone, but on what you have and haven't done yourself. Verses 51 to 52. Just like a blossom, bright-colored but scentless, a well-spoken word is fruitless when not carried out. Just like a blossom, bright-colored and full of scent, a well-spoken word is fruitful when well carried out. Verse 53. Just as from a heap of flowers many garland strands can be made, even so one born and mortal should do with what's born and is mortal many a skillful thing. Verses 54 to 56. No flower's scent goes against the wind, not sandalwood, jasmine, tagara, but the scent of the good does go against the wind. The person of integrity wafts the scent in every direction. Sandalwood, tagara, lotus, and jasmine. Among these scents, the scent of virtue is unsurpassed. Next to nothing, this scent, sandalwood, tagara, while the scent of virtuous conduct wafts to the devas, supreme. Verse 57. Those consummate in virtue, dwelling in heedfulness, released through right knowing, Maras can't follow their tracks. Verses 58 to 59. As in a pile of rubbish cast by the side of a highway, a lotus might grow clean-smelling, pleasing the heart. So in the midst of the rubbish-like, people run off the male and blind. They are dazzled with discernment, the disciple of the rightly self-awakened one. Uplifted viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company on today's selections from the Dhammapada, Way of Truth, chapters 1 to 4, part 2 of 2, on Words of Wisdom.